They need to pick their battles better, from what I can tell about the libertarian political. Like, I recall so strongly and laughing at all these guys up on stage. Number one, like half of them are dressed like samurai, and like one of them's got a fucking like trench coat on, and it's like, what the fuck? Like one guy is wearing a suit who's like the front runner, like something Johnson maybe, and like someone asked him in the audience, like, so what's the deal with driver's licenses? The state has no bearing and no right to label us with this and require it to move freely about our nation. And the Mike or whatever Johnson, the main guy, I think his name is, was like, well, you know, we need some way to identify that people on the road are safe drivers. Like we need that. It's a useful form of identification for if you do this and that. And what if you need to buy something that is an age requirement? And the whole audience is like hiss, just like they're furious at the idea of driver's licenses. And it's like,
I'm not driving, I'm traveling.
It's like, are you guys retarded? Like they're censoring huge swaths of speech on social media, and you're having a giant debate about driver's licenses here. Yeah, like get real. Like,
and that's a problem. I feel like every single party suffers from the extreme 10% co-opting the narrative around it, and that comes at the cost of elections. Because I would say the bulk majority of people in the U.S., I would say 80% of the people are very similar on their views, and the polarizing 10% on each end on those very, very niche, hot button, very well sharing and engagement farming topics that actually don't move the needle for most people in society. Like they drive political donations and fear, which get people to vote a certain way.
When
that's it.
The Democrats lost this most recent election, Destiny was like to the far left, forget it, you're out. You know, we can win without you, but we can't win with you. And somehow that phrasing resonated with me. Like, yeah. Our most extreme weirdo lefts, let's just like ostracize them or something. You know,
didn't end up working.
Can we silence them? You know, like, all right, purple hair, sit in the back.
I don't think that's like a good strategy moving forward for the left. Like I remember Hutch and Destiny and a number of like big media people saying like we can win without this crazy contingent of far left people, but we can't win with them. Okay. And then the far left people didn't turn out to vote at all, and they lost badly. And so like I think it's like a significant portion of like there are no young people in the country who vote left who are like, I love neoliberal foreign policy and neoliberal economics. It's like the reason they voted left ever was for those like culture war things that they perceived as a big deal. Like they only ever voted left because they were like, yes, you know, this gay cause is something that I will get invested in. And so it's like the idea that you could excise that, it's really with just removing all the young people, because no 20-year-old left-leaning people are like really excited about
whenever people,
Kamala's economic
whenever
plan.
people analyze the election, they always say, those little social things that nobody cares about, like the bathrooms or the gender thing. And it's like, no, you keep missing the point. That is what they care about. Those are the voters who say, I don't care what X, Y, and Z costs. Get them out of the bathrooms. Get them out of the bathrooms. When Trump was getting inaugurated and he announced that he was going to recognize only two genders, that was the biggest cheer he got all day. And he made 4 speeches that day to varying degrees of sycophancy. And that in front of all half a room of haters was the biggest cheer all fucking day. Everyone was like, yes, finally, someone heard us. We meant business and we got it. Like that was the cheer.
What motivates the base and gets them out to vote? It's usually extreme issues, right? Because like whatever those polarizing things are, will supercharge that 10% to organize and actually go vote. It's really, really hard to get that 80% to vote. Like they just want to live their lives and they'll go to the ballot box maybe. But I believe a lot of people don't want to vote because they don't want to deal with jury duty and stuff like that. And the things
I had to stand in the rain.
Yeah, or they don't want to have to go through the process of registering. Like my vote doesn't count; it doesn't matter. And I would argue that if people actually played a more active role in their local communities, that thing at the higher state and federal level would probably sort itself out at some point. But I think people just feel like their votes don't count. And if they would just like really make a concerted effort to know who was running for office locally, be it county commissioner to, I mean, especially now with taxes and everything, like people who like just every aspect of your life is touched by these people, and most people don't even know who they are.
Yeah, there's a lot of unaccountable people in our system.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to make civics sexy, though. You know, you need those causes, those inflammatory causes, those they're coming for your kids causes.
Well, even the military, right? Like there, you'll see a lot of the messaging right now with a lot of guys is that they're just, they feel that the military industrial complex is co-opted, what it means to be an American and those core values and wanting to grow up to be a patriot and everything else. And now you're fighting wars that nobody wants to fight and everything else. So these younger generations don't want to enlist or they don't want to join the military. But because I thought recruitment was down.
Since Trump, December it was up, and then January it was even higher.
Okay. Well, I meant leading up to the election. I have no idea what it is.
Well, through the Biden presidency, it was terrible.
Because I would argue that if you really want to make a change, like even if you don't want to serve in like the military, again, your local community, I mean, be it firefighter, police officer, there are so many different ways that like first responders can really have a meaningful impact on their communities. And I know that the law enforcement community has had a pretty rough go at it in the last, 10, 15 years or whatever, but there's like, there's a lot of 20 years, 30, 40, 50, whatever. But be the change, right?
Like, those guards in Skyrim are bitches. They've been doing this forever.
I mean,
did someone steal your sweet roll?
You might not be the guy that makes a big difference in the Rampart division of LAPD, but like if, rural America and stuff like that, people still really hold their law enforcement, sheriffs, everybody very like meaningfully as part of their community. So like you can still make a difference. I mean, there's a number of ways, but I don't know. I think a lot of people feel like they've kind of given up or they've lost hope. And I think that, you shouldn't have that kind of defeatist attitude. There's little things. Ounces equal pounds.
I don't hear that at all. In my world, everybody's like cheering and wearing Burger King crowns. Like everybody's so fucking hyped that they're like vibrating. Like it's like your team won the World Series and then your other team came and won the NBA Finals and you're just on a hot fucking streak. Your college alma mater won the championship.
You're the team, whatever that hocky thing is.
Yeah, the other team, their stadium burned down. The other team's stadium burned down and their coach got cancer. Like this is like the best year ever for the people in my world. Like this would be like if Nick Saban was raped by a bulldog to death. Like an actual, like a pack of rabid bulldogs raped Nick Saban to death, and it was.
What
televised.
if Tim Tebow fell in the Everglades and was eaten by an alligator? Would that
oh my god, that would be so wonderful if he was doing some sort of bullshit. I'm gonna throw a football through a hoop over a tank of alligators, and he fell in, and they ate him.
They tore him to pieces.
No, they paralyzed him, and he'd be all positive about it, and be like, "This is what God wanted for me."
You know what? He would be positive about it. So a little respect.
He'd be so
respect
positive
on his name there.
So fuck him. I don't care.
He'd have a
more
big jacked upper body.
I'm sorry. I take college football too seriously. It was a painful time. Trump's had a big week.
Yeah.
It's true. Is he going to the game tonight? That's what'll be the capstone.
No, he's not. He said he's not.
He's not going to the game. Fuck him.
Yeah. Oh wow. I can imagine
going to support our boys who love him.
Listen, Kyle's pardon shouldn't be dictated by Taylor statements tonight.
It should.
No,
his statement's been approved by the Kyle's Myers Foundation.
Woody, do you know what it is that he removed in New York? Like it was like I can't remember what they call it. It's the fee they charge you for like going to the congestion pricing. I tried to Google and understand what congestion pricing meant in New York, and they just gave me like the broad definition of it. But it's all I found in New York was that maybe if you wanted to go to like the south side of the city, you had to pay like $9 or $15 toll basically to go there. It scans.
I thought it was $9, but don't quote me on that. What it is during peak hours when traffic was the worst, the prices were higher. And it drove some drivers to take, like, say, public transit, for example, instead of, because the tolls got more expensive, they were disincentivizing people for crowding the roads. And I mean, my sources, I don't know, maybe I live in some liberal bubble. Like, it was working. Congestion was down. Public transit was up. Like, it was a solution. For reasons I don't understand, adding more lanes doesn't solve it. You've heard that again and again and again. It just increases the traffic, and it seems that it's an insatiable demand for traffic. So congestion pricing incentivize people to find a cheaper way to get into the city. And Trump doesn't like it. I don't know why. I saw something about construction near one of his properties was a true motivation, but maybe people don't like it. I'm not sure. But he got rid of congestion pricing. Boom.